Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Patriots Real Time Podcast. I'm your host, Theo Deesnaus, joined alongside Austin Ray. Today we have a Patriots-Texans recap, and then we started a new segment that is called Rate That Draft Class. We'll be going down from each draft class, starting from 2023 until whenever we don't know anymore, which will probably be like in a few episodes because, we're 15 years old. But we'll be going down rating the draft class, judging them off studs, duds, and meh. So we're going to start with 2023, but that's just foreshadowing for the episode. First, we got 3 up, 3 down as usual. But before we get into all of that, Austin, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Haven't been feeling my best today. How about you?
I have been feeling all right, unlike you. Hopefully, you're doing okay, hanging in there. But yeah, I've been feeling all right. I'm having a pretty good day, But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this episode. So let's get into let's get into 3 up, 3 down. But yeah, let's just start right away with your first up.
My first up. Oh, it just disappeared. It was Drake May.
Okay.
Drake May. So Drake May, he didn't have the best game, but for a rookie, three passing touchdowns. He was able to extend plays. He was more than what I was expecting. Honestly, I'm super excited for what he brings to us.
Yeah, when we talked about Drake May on the podcast, like on Saturday, I would say, I said he'll probably throw for 140 something yards. He'll have 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He did not do that. He was what were the exact stats? I don't know. I think it was like 21 for 31, 21 for 32, something like that. 243 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. So the picks were a little bit much. 3 total turnovers, and that's why I did not include him on my good list. I did really, really like the way Drake May played on Sunday, but you have 3 turnovers. It's kind of tough to include you on the up list. So my number 1 up, the guy snapping the ball to Drake May, Ben Brown, center signed off of the Raiders practice squad just 4 days ago. 0 pressures after allowing 10 last week at center. 0 for Ben Brown. I should say because that's his name. And he was so good they cut Nick Leverett. Let's get into a little bit of a off-topic segment here. Austin, when you heard the news, if you did hear the news because you were sick all day, if you did hear the news, what was going through your head when you learned that the Patriots cut their starting center from just last week today?
That it didn't surprise me because we've been flipping this offensive line every game, and Ben Brown, he was on my good list too. He played amazing. It was good to see someone solid in the offensive line, and then them cutting Nick Leverett after that didn't come as a surprise to me.
Yeah, it came as a surprise to me. Though I just think even if he's not good, even if he's not going to win the job, you need depth at the offensive line. We saw Michael Jordan get hurt yesterday, who is a guard. Nick Leverett's a guy that can play guard, and cutting him is a little bit of a surprise. Maybe you re-sign him on your practice squad, but I didn't really like the move that much. He'll probably get signed to another team's active roster because, I mean, he's not. We don't know if he's solid. He was solid in Tampa, so. But yeah, we both had Ben Brown, so that was your second or maybe your third, whatever. It doesn't matter. But you had Ben Brown on the list. I'm gonna go with number 2. You probably had him on the list as well. Demario Douglas. Yep, you had him on the list. First NFL touchdown. It felt great to see. You were there in person. Felt great to just see it at home. But yeah, I was really happy for him. I met Pop this summer. He's a really, really nice guy. He's easily the nicest guy I've ever met. Although I haven't really had a bad experience with a Patriots player, really. Maybe Jalen Reagor. He wasn't too nice. But
Except Del Pettis. You need to respond to us, Del.
Yeah, Del. Please respond. It's okay. But yeah, Demario Douglas first touchdown, 6 for 92 yards and a touchdown. I wrote on my paper 192 yards. He did not have 192 yards. He just had a 92, but still, it was a good day for Demario Douglas. Yeah, his best day of the season by far. You had Demario Douglas on your list. Explain why you had him on your list as well.
The exact same reasons as you. He was targeted a lot, which I loved. I mean, he also was targeted same 6 for 9 against Miami as well. But these passes were shots down the field, which you didn't see from Jacoby Brissett, which we are seeing from Drake May. And that's allowing the wide receivers to play better. Demario Douglas' first NFL touchdown, like you said, right to the corner end zone where I was sitting. So, except I was in the 300s, but still. It was just awesome to see Demario Douglas popping off.
Yeah, and he should have had 2 touchdowns. Drake May had a really bad throw on one of them where he had to she should have been placed here. He had to come back over here. If you're listening on audio, I apologize, but just you should have watched the game, so you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think he should have had 2 touchdowns. What a day for Demario Douglas. I'll wrap up my up list because we said all of yours, Austin. Marte Mapu, a guy that's really impressed me. I think he was on my good list last week too. Comes back from being injured after a pretty bad rookie campaign, I would say. It wasn't great. He had a pick last year. But this year, he's been really good. I don't think he was the green dot. He didn't have the green dot this week because Kyle Duggar did return. But he was really good. He had a pass breakup that deflected, and Marcus Jones had the interception on. He had half a sack. Potentially, I don't know if it's really half a sack, but he caused a sack. Just really, really good. And yeah, the 23 class is looking to be really good. Marte Mapu, Keon White. We're foreshadowing. We can't get into that real quick because we got a segment for that. But yeah, another guy that would have had my good if there were 4 spots allowed, Kayshon Boutte. But yeah, Austin, let's transition into the down. We probably had this guy both on our down list. Austin, are you going to say the same player that I'm thinking of?
Is he a wide receiver?
He might be.
Jalen Polk.
Yep, it's Jalen Polk. Wow, we did not plan that. That's very impressive right there. Talk about Jalen Polk and why he was not good.
He had some horrendous drops. Like I thought I had to rub my eyes. I thought it was Javon Baker playing. He dropped what we signed him to do. We signed him for those cut-ins, get the first down, and he just dropped them twice at least. And he just played horrendous. I don't have his exact stats, but I didn't see anything good out of him.
Yeah, I don't have his exact stats, but I know it was 1 catch on 4 targets, 2 drops. The last drop, it wasn't over the middle like you said, but it was a horrendous drop. The ball he pushed it to the ground almost. It was raining at the time, I think. You were there, I don't know. But no, it wasn't raining. It didn't rain the entire game. The announcer said it was raining, so probably not. So, but yeah, so Jalen Polk, he was bad. He's been bad all season. I didn't even realize this. The announcers, so you didn't hear this, Austin. I wanted to get your instant reaction. So during the game, after his first drop, they said he's been targeted on 31 passes. How many of those do you think he's caught?
14.
Nope. 9. Let's make sure that is correct, because I want to make sure that's correct. So, Austin, why don't you talk about that while I look that up real quick, if that is true. And I probably should have had this, but yeah.
9 for 31 is horrendous. I mean, we drafted him pretty high, too, so him kept going 9 for 31 where he's trying to make it as a top wide receiver on this team. I mean, that's a low bar, but those 9 for 31 it's not acceptable at all. And I just think that between him, Demario Douglas, I'd rather have Demario Douglas receiving these passes because he's been pretty good.
So here's the exact. Okay, so they were definitely off on that stat. I'm not sure Kevin Harlan, because I know he said that. So that's not true, unfortunately, whatever you want to say. But I'm not sure where he got that. 10 for 23 actually. So 10 catches on 23 targets. So it was like 9 for 21 maybe. Maybe I misheard him. I apologize if I misheard him. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I briefly heard what you said. I was kind of locked in on my phone. But yeah, Demario Douglas, I think he has 24 catches on 31 targets or something like that. So yeah, Demario Douglas is much better than Jalen Polk. And it's sad to say, but could we be getting into the bust territory with Jalen Polk? The guy you drafted to catch the football. He can't catch the football. How long until we can officially declare Jalen Polk a bust? Which I don't think he's a bust yet, but yeah.
I say we give him 3 to 4 weeks, especially with Drake May under center. I think that we give him 3 or 4 weeks.
He got worse with Drake May. Everyone else got better, but he got worse with Drake May, which is kind of weird. But yeah, what was your number 2 bad?
My number 2 bad was the secondary. From sitting at 300s, you can see the play develop. And there were just so many times where they had coverage, and then, I don't know, miscommunication, whatever. Stephon Diggs would just be wide open in the middle of the field, resulting in easy first downs on plays that should have been incomplete passes or sacks.
Yeah, I'm looking around my room right now. I got my Christian Gonzalez right there. He was not great. Got my Jonathan Jones. You can't see this. Jonathan Jones right there. I wore it for the game yesterday. He wasn't great. And then I recently hung up my Marcus Jones today because of Peppers. He was there before, but Marcus Jones, he was not good either. Yeah, it was a terrible day for the secondary. I didn't have them on my bad list. They should have been, but I decided that I was going to forget about that and not put them on my bad list. But yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Christian Gonzalez, worst day as a pro for sure. I don't know if I said this on air or off air. I think it was off air, but I said Stephon Diggs. No, wait, hold on. Let me just clarify real quick. I said this take on air last week, or on Saturday, but I said it to Austin off air, repeated it to Austin off air. Anyways, let's get back. So last week, or yes, Jesus Christ. On Saturday, I said that Stephon Diggs was Christian Gonzalez's biggest test. I was right. And he had a touchdown on Gonzalez before he got hurt. Stephon Diggs, that being. But my number 2 here was turnovers. 4 turnovers. That's unacceptable. You want to win a football game, you can't turn the ball over 4 times. 3 of those coming from starting quarterback Drake May. Now, the interception was a little unlucky. The fumble, though, strip sacked. The first interception was terrible. And then Austin Hooper had a terrible fumble. That was not a great signing, personally. I don't think that was a good signing. He was pretty bad. But yeah, Austin Hooper, Drake May, turned the ball over. What are your thoughts on the turnovers, Austin?
Like you said, I think it's horrible. I do, for the tip one from Drake May, I don't necessarily see that as his fault. Of course, throwing where you see the defensive lineman right there, it's not a smart throw, but I wouldn't necessarily put it all on him, because that play made ESPN top 10, I think number 6, because it was an amazing play by the Texans, but I wouldn't necessarily pin that all on him. But that first interception was just horrendous. Overthrew, was it Demario Douglas, I think, right?
It was Demario Douglas.
Yeah, overthrew Demario Douglas right to the Texans defense, and I don't know, it's just the fumbles are unacceptable. There was a guy behind me every time there was a play, he's like, "Oh, there's a flag! No, wait, there's a fumble!"
Yeah, people. Yeah, people. But yeah. Anyways, the turnovers were not great. That's definitely not something you want to see out of your rookie quarterback. But his confidence never wavered. With Mac Jones, you turn the ball over really bad, his confidence wavers. I don't even know how Mac Jones could continuously be so bad last year. Like, against the Giants, I don't understand how he just kept throwing interceptions. It just did not make sense to me. That was his last game as a Patriot, but he had some interceptions there that I'm just like, that looked like a beautiful throw just to the other team. Like, it looked, I think it was Xavier McKinney, who's now the Packers safety, but he threw one on the sideline that was a great catch, and it was like, wow, if only that was to Demario Douglas, that would have been our best play of the season. But yeah, Mac Jones, Drake May, they're definitely not the same person. I want to get a quick rant off here that just came to my head, but a lot of people say Drake May is Mac Jones 2.0. Outside of being white and wearing number 10, I don't see any similarities. Let's just start off Mac Jones, a guy that grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, Drake May, North Carolina. Mac Jones, just a little bit more of a, you know what, I'm not going to say that because I don't really know if it's true. But anyways, Mac Jones, really easy time in college, started 1 year under Nick Saban, had the best weapons in college football, in the country. Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, Najee Harris on the defensive side of the ball. It was Will Anderson who you played against. It was Pat Surtain, the best cornerback in the NFL. This team was absolutely loaded. Plus, you had an offensive line that's all pretty much in the NFL. You get to the NFL, this guy, Mac Jones, really didn't know who he was. And he was trying to be someone that he wasn't. He didn't really have confidence in himself. So it didn't really work out because he just wasn't confident. And if we're looking at it from just like a body standpoint, Drake May is probably, what would you say, 6'4", 200 pounds, 215 pounds maybe. Mac Jones is probably 6'3", 200 pounds, not of muscle though. Unfortunately, Mac Jones. Not trying to be mean, but and then if you look at the arm talent, Mac Jones can barely throw the ball across the field. Drake May can throw the ball 60 yards with ease. The arm talent is crazy. The athleticism, Mac Jones is very unathletic. Drake May is extremely athletic, especially for a quarterback. So yeah, you want to compare the two, go ahead, but it's like comparing, as a lot of people say, apples to oranges. I don't like saying that, but whatever. It's like comparing apples to oranges. But yeah, I don't agree with those people that think Mac Jones and Drake May are the same player. But most of those people just sit on the couches on Sundays, watch the game, turn it off, and then don't think about football for the rest of the week. So those people are not really real fans. I mean, they are real fans, but you know what I'm saying. Anyways, yeah. Any thoughts on the take?
I 100% agree. Yesterday we saw, I almost called him Mac Jones. Drake May throw,
Hey, it's
have a
understandable.
51, have a 50-yard one touchdown, which is the longest completion in a Patriots from a Patriots quarterback in 3 years. So that
Jesus.
just shows that, yeah. So I read a little article on that. That was pretty interesting. So that just shows the arm strength right away. And we also
Who wrote
saw,
that? Alex Barth?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I should source it. I read it on Patriots.com. Sorry.
Oh, so it wasn't Alex
It was
Barth.
Alex. No.
It was either Mike Dussault, who gave us the T-shirt, or Evan Lazar, because those are the only two writers there. Or Paul Perillo. But
Yes.
yeah, it was one of those three. Anyways, yeah, probably Evan. But yeah, longest completion in 3 years. That's insane. That means Mac Jones never had a completion over that. If I'm correct, the last one would be Cam Newton, Demir Bird against the Texans, actually in Houston. I think that was like 50 yards. So if I'm correct, that's probably right. But you mean in the air, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's probably that one. Because Mac Jones had the long touchdown to Kendrick Bourne against the Cowboys. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great play. That was a good game. I don't know if you. Yeah, sadly ended with.
The time zone was a little iffy for me.
Oh right. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But did you watch that game or no?
I remember watching clips on it. I don't necessarily
Yeah,
remember watching the game.
I watched the game obviously, but yeah, CeeDee Lamb ended it and like walked in all over Miles Bryant, and I was like so mad. Um, was it Miles Bryant? I don't know. It was someone. It could have been J.C. Jackson, but yeah. Anyways, did you ever give your third bad?
I don't think you gave your second.
Yeah, I did. I said turnovers and Jalen Polk, and you gave
Oh.
Jalen
Oh
Polk
yeah,
and
my bad. My last bad was like yours was interceptions. Actually, no,
okay,
fumbles. Sorry. Oh my god.
fumbles. Yeah.
I got my brain mixed up. So the Drake May one, he's a rookie. You understand? He doesn't necessarily know all the his like times in the pocket and all that. I mean, which he should know by now, but still,
Yeah.
he doesn't necessarily know when to release the ball, which I understand. He was going to release it, but he got stripped something. But Austin Hooper, this was mostly about him. He had one reception with 2 targets, and he's only had if I'm correct, 6 receptions on the year.
One touchdown.
One touchdown, but also a fumble.
Yeah.
Austin Hooper, in his blocking too, he has not been blocking well. I don't necessarily know if he's a blocking tight end, but he has not blocked
He is,
well.
yeah.
Yeah,
A little bit.
He's not been doing well at that then. But Austin Hooper, I just think between that fumble and how he's been playing recently, I'm just not excited.
Yeah, so I definitely could have gone with a lot of people here. The secondary, one of them. The refs, another one. But I'm going to go ahead,
Yes.
and Austin, you actually don't know why these people were bad, because it's the announcers. Kevin Harlan, and I believe I don't remember his name. I think it's Trent, but it's definitely the former Chiefs quarterback. They were awful. Like, they were really, really bad. And I'm going to sit here, like, Kevin, they didn't know, like, it was hard to watch. It was hard to listen to, because it wasn't like they were describing the same game that I'm watching. They were talking about Derek Stingley tackling Demario Douglas or someone for a gain of negative something, or a loss of negative of 2. and they were like, and Stingley catches the ball in the back. I mean, Stingley tackles the guy down, and I'm like, what? Like, and then to top it all off, they're like, as you can see, Jared Mayo. I'm like, Jared Mayo? How? You talked to him before. It's Gerard. You called his game. And then, another thing, they're talking about D'Amico Ryans as an all-pro linebacker, and they say Jared Mayo, yeah, he was on the 2014 Super Bowl team. D'Amico Ryans, though. Gerard Mayo was a Pro Bowl linebacker. I don't know if D'Amico Ryans was a Pro Bowl linebacker. I can look that up right now. And as I look that up, Austin, what's your reaction to me having the announcers on the bad list?
That's not what I was expecting at all, but from what I'm hearing, I understand why. I feel like if you're an announcer, you got to know your stats. They even got the, what was it, the 9 for 32, or you misheard that possibly.
Okay.
They,
So yeah, D'Amico Ryans was good. He was a 2-time Pro Bowler. And he was the Defensive Rookie of the Year. But so was Gerard Mayo. Gerard Mayo was also the Defensive Rookie of the Year too. But they were really saying that D'Amico Ryans was like much better than Gerard Mayo, when Gerard Mayo was also a good player. He probably wasn't as good as D'Amico Ryans, but still, you can't just disregard Gerard Mayo D'Amico Ryans is a great player, and Gerard Mayo also played in the NFL too, and also won a Super Bowl, and was the Rookie of the Year, and was the Pro Bowl. Like, no. Anyways, moving off that. I had some things here. Oh, let's talk about some Drake May plays here. Drake May threw the ball on the run to Hunter Henry. That was probably one of his best throws of the day. And then to kind of switch that, he had a few really bad throws, including the interception. The one we talked about with Demario Douglas earlier. And there were just others where Antonio Gibson had one. He threw it high. Gibson was able to catch the football. But yeah, there was a few bad throws. Yeah, you really were enthusiastic when I said the few bad throws. Do you remember any other bad throws that I missed?
Yes, there was one to Hunter Henry that reminded me of the Jacoby Brissett play where he hit him behind him, where he had to fall and catch it, and which could have been like a 15-yard gain, and it only ended up getting 4 or 5 yards. It's just those small things where instead of hitting the guy in stride, you throw it above him, you throw it behind him, where he has to reach back and stop his momentum.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy that two of the exact same plays pretty much happened when you were at the game. Hunter Henry against the Seahawks, and then Hunter Henry against the Texans. But I think it's that time to get into our segment as I flip the page, Rate That Draft Class. 2023 we're doing, presented by the NFL Draft. We got the studs, the meh, and the duds. Austin, where do you have cornerback Christian Gonzalez on your list?
100% a stud. He was out for last season, but I love this guy.
Yeah, 100% a stud. There's no question about it. He's a stud. He's a number one cornerback in the NFL. Did Stephon Diggs absolutely go off on him? Pretty much. Yeah, I wouldn't say absolutely, but yeah. He's still a stud. So I have him in my studs. Number 2, Keon White. Where is he in your list? Studs, duds, or meh?
I'm giving him a stud.
Yep, me too. Yeah.
He's been...
Go ahead.
Okay.
I don't really have anything to say.
He's been putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. He just needs help around him. But he's been getting pressure. I'm not sure his exact stats, but between this year and last year, he's been noticed. He's been a noticeable force on this defensive line.
Yeah, I think he has 4.5 sacks this year, but yeah, he's been really good. He's like top 20, 25 in sacks. He's been a good second-round pick. Number 3, Marte Mapu. I have him as a stud. What about you?
Yeah, I have him he barely got stud for me because, like you said last year, he didn't have a good rookie campaign. But this year, I am expecting much more out of him.
Yeah, and you're getting much more out of him too. Yes. He's had a great 2 games since he's came back. He's practiced 3 times, he's practiced 6 times this year, and he's still producing like that, which is kind of crazy. In training camp, we actually saw him. I don't know if you noticed this, but near the goalpost, he would be standing there with his hands behind his back and kind of anticipating like he was in the play or pretending like he was in the play. And he would kind of move with the play, and he wouldn't actually do anything because obviously he couldn't because he was injured. And that work, that little subtle work right there is paying off for Marte. Let's get into Jake Andrews. Where do you have Jake Andrews on this list?
This one.
Can you hear that?
Sorry, I got jump scared right there. Um,
Sorry.
I had him as a bust. I had him as a bust.
A dud?
Dud, yes, bust. My bad. I had
Yeah.
him as a dud.
Yeah, my dog is really, really barking right now. But anyways, um, yeah, yeah, I had him as a dud too. Jake Andrews. Yeah, he's a guy that just didn't really play last year, and he started one game last year at guard. He's probably one of your long term kind of like potential multiple choice answers at center. However, right now, I think we got to put him in the duds, just because he's out for the season. Played one game last year. He's a dud for me, but he could really turn this around. So probably should put him in the meh because his career isn't over like the rest of the guys that I have in the duds. But yeah, let's get into the next guy here, Chad Ryland
He's a stud.
for the
He's the
Cardinals.
reason. He's the reason. Yeah, for the Cardinals. No, I'm kidding. He's a dud. He's the reason we have Drake May. So I forever love Chad Ryland. But like you said, he's a stud for the Cardinals, kicking game-winning field goals where he couldn't hit extra points for us.
Yeah, so this one guy that I really like on Instagram, this guy named New York Giants Tape or something like that. I think that's something like that. He has like 50,000 followers. He posted the video today of Chad Ryland missing the field goal. He's like, if only he made this field goal, then we could have Drake May or Jaden Daniels. And I was like, I commented on the post. He's like, I was like, I'm so happy he missed that field goal. And he actually responded to me. He was like, yeah, Drake, I'm really surprised that you guys sat Drake May for the first 5 weeks. But that was pretty cool. But yeah, Chad Ryland, he's obviously a dud. He stinks. No offense, Chad, but I think we can say that. Anyways, let's get into the next guy, City So. Where do you have him?
I have him as a meh.
Yeah, me too. I probably if we did this about like 2 weeks ago, I'd have him as a stud. But Austin goes to get something. But
Turn my lights on.
did they turn off?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I would have him as a stud, but he's lost his starting job, and he's just a meh. He was pretty solid last year, so probably could have him as a stud, and I wouldn't get mad. Um, but yeah, City So is going to be my meh as well as you. Let's get into the next guy, Antonio Maffi, a guy that they cut this year. I believe he's on a practice squad, but he's a dud for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I
Maffi,
didn't see anything out of him when he got cut. So
yeah, Maffi started last year, first game of the season, against the Eagles, but yeah, he had a solid, okay, below average rookie campaign. I wouldn't say it was terrible. Like I think Mapu probably had a worse rookie season um than Antonio Maffi. Like, and I'm not saying Mapu had a terrible rookie season either. Like, I just think Maffi wasn't terrible, but oh my God, he was terrible in camp this year and the preseason. Like, it was he was probably a guy that I would say is really close to a lock. Like, if you asked me last February, do you think Antonio Maffi's going to make the roster? I would have said 96% yes. And he just didn't make the roster. He was terrible. So, yeah, Antonio Maffi. Next up, Kayshon Boutte.
as of right now, I have him as a meh.
Okay.
I think that
Okay.
I think he could easily become a stud. Yesterday, that 51-yard touchdown, I love that, but I haven't really seen anything else yet.
Yeah, I probably should have him as a man. I got a little excited, put him as a stud. But yeah, I think Kayshon Boutte's on his way to becoming a stud. Gerard Mayo said that Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas, and Kayshon Boutte have been their best receivers so far this year. I'm not sure if you've really watched the Patriots this year, Gerard, but Kendrick Bourne has 2 catches. Not sure why you have him as your best player, but yeah, Kayshon Boutte, he's been pretty good all year long, consistently. The last 2 games, especially 3 for whatever. But yeah, I really like Kayshon Boutte. He could be in the meh, he could be in the stud. But next up, Bryce Behringer.
Oh my God, what a stud! Best player on the team.
Yep, he's not joking. He is definitely a stud. You got your punter of the future, in the sixth round. No one probably would have drafted him if we're being honest. So you
No.
probably could have picked him up, but it's okay. Um, as I sit at Austin's background, I see the Maryland uh, logo in Austin's background. It gives me flashbacks to Chad Ryland. So yeah, because I last year I had this behind me. I had this big wall of just every single player from like the what's it called, the yearbook. I cut out their picture and put them up as like offense, defense, special teams.
Wild.
And so I put them all up, and Chad Round's picture was from Maryland, so I have PTSD from that. Anyways, that was random. Next up, Demario Douglas.
I have him as a stud. I
Yep,
think,
100%.
yeah, I don't think there's any explanation needed. He's our best wide receiver.
Yeah, probably the second best player from this draft class. Um, Maybe the first, honestly. He's really good. He had a really good season last year. Like I said, I met him. He's really nice. That also factors into it. Um, but yeah, yeah, he's a good player, good guy, good everything from Liberty. And then we got Amir Speed, a guy that they cut last year. Probably we're just gonna put him on the practice squad. They cut him actually. Actually no, that's a lie. They cut him probably to bring back some like Mike Onwenu, who I think was on PUP or IR last year, something like that. I don't remember. I don't think that's true, but you never know. Anyways, they ended up losing him, but they ended up signing Alex Austin because of that. And Alex Austin had a pretty good rookie season last year, so I kind of don't really mind that too much. But I did have him as a dud. He was pretty solid here, I'll be honest, but he's not on the team anymore. So, what about you?
Yeah, I had him like right between dud and Matt because, like you said, he was solid here, but like, it's just not here anymore.
Yeah. And then we got the last player, last pick in the draft, still on the team. Not last pick of the draft, but last pick of the Patriots draft. He's still on the team, like I said. Got his autograph right there. Austin, you have his autograph. Actually, I don't know if you do. He might have missed you. Isaiah Bolden. Did he miss you? I think he missed you.
No, oh yeah, I think he just walked right past me.
Yeah, he walked right by. But anyways, Isaiah Bolden, a guy that really he barely played last. Okay, I'm changing this. You didn't even have to know this, but I'm changing it. He's a dud. He didn't play last year,
Wow.
and he hasn't played this year. He didn't make the roster, so yeah, I think he's a dud. What about you?
Yeah. Yeah. Dud.
Yeah. And then let's just throw in because he technically wasn't part of this draft class, but like I mentioned earlier, Alex Austin was a rookie when the Patriots signed him off the Bills practice squad. So where'd you? This is just random. I don't even have him on here. Where'd you put Alex Austin?
I think I'd put him as a stud. He's pretty solid for us. I'd say he's solid. I like him. So we share that. We did get his autograph. Um, and yeah, I think he's a stud.
Yeah, his autograph's are right. You probably can't see that, but it's right there. But yeah, Alex Austin. I probably would also have him as a stud. They really kind of benched him this year. For Marco Wilson. I wouldn't say bench because bench you have to do something wrong. I don't think he did anything wrong. I just think they thought Marco Wilson was better. Then ends up getting placed on IR. But he had a pretty solid rookie year last year. Had the nice pick off Josh Allen. Had a nice play against the Steelers. So yeah, I had Alex Austin. Sorry, as a stud as well. Or I just put him as a stud. But yeah, that'll pretty much wrap up this PRT. 34 minutes into it. But yeah, if you want to follow us on everywhere. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on YouTube and on Instagram at Patriots Real Time. And I'm struggling to get through this right now. I apologize. You want to follow Austin Ray on Instagram. And if you want to follow me, Patriots3 on Instagram. And let's wrap this one up before I don't know, something else happens.
Well,
but yeah.
Real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Just want to talk about the referees.
Oh, no.
I mean, the entire stadium was going wild after every call, especially in the first two drives for the Texans. Those pass interferences were horrendous calls. Weren't even touching them.
On Marte Mapu, too, so yeah, that was a bad call there. But unless Austin has anything else,
No.
which I don't know if he has, Then that'll conclude this edition of the Patriots Real Time Podcast. We will see you next Saturday unless Del Pettis responds to us. Bye.